Welcome to another iWIN Live for those tuning in on Instagram as well as Facebook. Welcome. Tonight is going to be just a basic Q&A. We haven't done many of these lately, so we've been trying to do more of them. Let me just Instagram as well. Set this up so that I can see many of these lately, so we've been trying to do. Want to see the questions up so that I can see. There we go. But welcome. So lots going on. Convention is just what are we? 2 weeks? 2 weeks away. In fact, 2 weeks from tonight, we will be at the baseball game. Actually, so that will be going on in New Hampshire. We're all set for next year. They're in the planning stages for Arizona. Let's see. So I'm going to try and watch on both of these streams for questions. But feel free to ask anything. You know, tonight's kind of just an open forum. I like to do these every now and then. Not really have a specific topic, but at least give you guys just some feedback, some access to myself. You know, one of the things that I think make iWIN different from a lot of other sweepstakes sites, as most of you know, I'm not a programmer, which a lot of site owners are programmers. Nothing wrong with programmers. I wish I was a programmer because it saved me a lot of money. But I enter sweepstakes just like you, and I win sweepstakes just like you. So I think that's really important. Because it allows you to understand what is good and bad versus a lot of sites just, oh, it's a sweepstakes, I'm just going to put it on the site. And why that gives them a lot of content and makes it look like they have an awful lot of sweeps, if you're entering the wrong things, it really doesn't do you any good. And that's probably the biggest thing. Somebody asked me on TikTok the other day, and I've actually been meaning to do a video specifically back to them. You know, how many sweeps do I enter a day? Because they see I've been doing more of the simple, you know, unboxing. When something comes in the mail, I just unbox it and I make a quick little 30-40 second video and put it out because I know you guys enjoy the unboxing videos. But my daily entries right now are actually at a number that's a little bit higher than I prefer. They're at about 150. And I prefer that more around 130, 125. You know, I try and be very specific about what I enter. Now, don't get me wrong, entering more and more things is definitely going to help you and give you some advantage, but there's a time balance, and I just don't have the time or the want to enter 300, 400, 500, 600, even 1,000 things a day like some people. So I really try and keep that number, you know, somewhere in the 130-ish range. But the key is it's no secret. Like, there's no secret magic formula. I love when people are like, you know, we're going to share the secrets of winning. There is no secret. The secret is you enter consistently and you enter the right things. And if you do both of those things, you will win. Everyone in the world who's done those two things has won. It's not a very complicated formula. You know, there's some things with making sure your settings on social media are correct. You know, I just talked to someone whose account's been private for the last, you know, year. And so they're entering and they haven't won anything, and they find out, well, their account's private. So it's impossible to win anything. Nobody can see their posts, you know, none of the judging agencies, none of the sponsors. So, do I have a song picked out for karaoke? I will not be singing karaoke. That's, you know, I don't want to do that to you guys. That's just bad. But if you're coming to the convention, we do have a lot of cool stuff that I'm in the works of planning. I'm actually going to be emailing the Byron some ideas and thoughts on the iWIN Lounge. It is their convention, so out of respect to them, there's certain things I want to do, and I want to clear it, make sure they're okay with it. Which, you know, they're pretty good about. They give me a lot of freedom to do some creative ideas with you guys, as most of the hosts have. but there's going to be an iWIN lounge, and I'll tell you that it's going to be cool to be a part in person, but I'm also going to take care of the people watching it virtual. And so I have some ideas on that. And then the Byrons and I are working on a kind of a different idea. We want to kind of give you like a backstage look into a convention. So we're working on that, and hopefully we're going to be able to do some of that and share it with you guys as well. Because a lot of people don't realize that people who run conventions, I don't really know when they sleep. I just have helped out. I've never ran a convention. I really don't have the urge to run a convention. But I just kind of help out with them. So let's see what other questions we got. I can pick a duo song. No, I'm good. What happens when you win a big money prize? So that's a good question. And the funny thing is, as much as you guys see that I've won, I've never won a large amount of money. It always seems to avoid me. When I say large amount of money, like I've never won a $5,000 or more cash prize. I've had tons of members. I think we've had now 6 members win $100,000 or more on a single sweepstakes. 10,000 or more, I couldn't even tell you how many. I just got an email or a message, on Discord probably 30 minutes ago that somebody just won $10,000 on a sweepstakes. It was a judged entry. So they're super excited because it was their largest win from a judged entry. They've won a lot of really cool stuff. But yeah, I've never won it. But I can tell you what happens when you do. You have paperwork to fill out. And then you usually get the money. Sometimes it's a wire transfer. Sometimes it's a check. And then you're going to get a nice 1099 for it, and you can talk to your accountant and deal with that. But I wish I could share that personal experience story, and hopefully one day I will. I won a $2,000 cash prize. I've won it a couple times. I won one most recently last year. Some of you guys remember the wall where you had to say something you wanted to do for the first time, and it was adjudged. It was an essay, and then they actually picked finalists, and they did a phone interview with you. But I got $2,000, and I got some of their equipment, their hair cutting equipment. Do I enter mostly online? If so, what platforms work best? So, yeah, the majority of what I enter is online. Some of you guys know I do mail-ins, but it's few and far between. Looks like Mr. Roscoe has joined us. Would you like to say hi, hello? Yeah. I really enjoy entering on Twitter. But I enter on everything. I enter on Facebook. Occasionally I'll enter on TikTok. I haven't done a whole lot of TikTok, but I have won some prizes on TikTok. Instagram, Facebook, online. I will mail for things if I feel it makes sense. A lot of times I'm mailing maybe for codes, but sometimes even codes don't make sense because maybe I can go to the store and maybe I even pay a little bit more, but I get them way quicker. And I know I get them. I mean, how many times have you mailed for codes and they never come? We've all had it happen, including myself. There's no way around it. Let's see what else we got. How come you only have gray shirts? So you can see I have a black one on tonight. We do shirt orders typically before convention. I have about 20 different colors that the printer lets me order. And we can put this on any color shirt we want, any type of shirt. But I do only stock the gray ones. I made a big order of the gray ones initially so that I would always have them, because that was kind of the standard. And then when I had to do a reorder, I did a couple colored shirts for myself, and on these lives, people really enjoyed seeing the different colors, and so they wanted the different colors. So Unfortunately, though, this year so close to convention and with so many things with supply chain issues, combined with just pricing is just outrageous right now. I just decided, you know what? If you want an iWIN shirt, I have the gray ones. We will do another order later this year or early next year. So hopefully I'll have some other colors for you at that time. Did the bird go home? No, the bird is being quiet right now. He's been interrupting classes and lives all week. He drives me nuts, but his name's Toby. He is here for a week. He's going home Sunday or Monday, but no, he's still here. So somebody said they made a shirt. I've never stopped someone from making shirts. I just don't want you selling them, obviously. But I've helped people with ideas and shirts. Will the lounge have snacks? I haven't decided. I'm still working on some ideas for the lounge. Do I have a sweeps tracker to share with us like on Excel? Just want to make sure I get everything I win. So on the iWIN page, there is a win tracker that you can track your wins, and it totals them up by the month and by the year. And it's a free Excel sheet. I update it every year, but somebody can share the link, but it's public. It's for anyone. You don't even have to be a member. It's just something that I made and I offer at no cost so that you can keep track of wins. And it's the exact same one I personally use. Somebody said you run and get the paperwork notarized as soon as possible. Let's see. So someone said, I know you love sports-related sweepstakes and a lot of sweepstakes with them. My question is, if you were a woman or Lee was posting all the iWIN sweepstakes, would they be much different? In our words, would there be more like Express, TJ Maxx, etc.? It's a fair question. You got to remember about 25% of what gets posted on iWIN is sent in from members, because members are incentivized to send in a sweepstakes. If they send me a sweepstakes and I post it on the site or I use it in the newsletter, they get a free week, and I manually add those in. It's no secret that obviously I do. I look at a lot of NASCAR things and a lot of sports things. So there probably is more than most sites for that stuff. But I still think there's a pretty good mix of everything. Somebody said that you've never won. You never won anything? If you never won anything and you're entering sweepstakes, honestly, you're doing something wrong and you need some help. So either take the iWIN classes or take classes online, take classes from someone else, but it's not a hard hobby to win. Is it a hard hobby to have tons of success? It's not even hard to have tons of success. It takes an awful lot of time. That is the biggest thing. Really the biggest thing is just the time. Do the members who win dollars give you any? No. Now, I will say I've been taken to dinners. In fact, somebody who won the Dairy Queen, I don't know if it was like ice cream for a year or ice cream for years, but it was a $5,000 Dairy Queen gift card. And one of the people who won said, "Hey Tom, we're taking a bunch of people to Dairy Queen to get ice cream. We won this prize, we want to share it. So if you're around and you want to join us, we'd love to have you join." So I will try and make time to go and have ice cream with them. I've had little gifts, sent to me and thank yous. It's not needed. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. I love getting little trinkets and souvenirs from things, and a lot of times at conventions, people have won trips. Maybe brought me back, something. But it's not expected. It's not needed. But it's pretty cool. So But no one's ever like wrote me a check and said, "Here you go." Now I don't want them to. You know, I am satisfied with a really cool picture that I can use on iWIN and share it, because you know, one of the biggest myths with this hobby is, do people really win? And you know, think how many things you see on the internet and how many things you see that are not legit and are scams, and there's sweepstakes that are scams out there. But you know, it's nice when you have real people who tell real stories and say, "Oh yeah, I won this or I won that." Let's see what else we got. So one person said, you know, 30 years sweeping, they won 2 prizes, 5,000 or more, and they were both mail-ins. I had a member win 2 $10,000 cash prizes last year. Same member. You know, it happens. You know, it just avoids me. But you know what? I've had a year that I won like 9 trips. So, you know, it's give and take. You look at this year. This year, I've won 1 trip. Halfway through the year, for me to only win 1 trip, that's not normal. I'm not doing anything different. I've had lots of wins this year. Not too worried about it. I fully expect I'll win 2 or 3 trips more by the end of the year. At least that's my hope. Maybe we're doing a live in December, and I tell you I've still only won a trip. Most of you guys know my trip. It's on the Disney Wish. I'm super excited. It's in a couple weeks, and I'll share some photos and some videos, and I think it's going to be really cool to be on that new ship. Obviously, I'm a huge Disney fan. Speaking of Disney, I'm going to have a Disney trivia question sometime during this, and a couple of you get some iWIN months added to either a current membership, or if you're brand new, you're welcome to play as well. So don't let me forget before we go off the air, but sometime here later on, I'll give you a trivia question. Let's see. You know, somebody said, you know, you have to pick and choose your sweeps too. And you know, and that's really, really true. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I think a lot of people make the mistake, especially with Facebook. They just enter on Facebook and they just, you know, they do tagging and the referrals, and they think they're, you know, helping each other. You're not. You're wasting a lot of time. But you know what? I appreciate those people. I love those people because, one, they're probably not iWIN members, which is fine. But by they're doing that, I'm entering the things that really matter and winning those. And again, the one limit of this hobby is time. It's just something you can't get back. You can never get enough of. Is Lee going to be in New Hampshire? No, Lee is not going to be in New Hampshire. Conventions aren't really her thing. She's debating Arizona. It's up in the air, but you know, it's hard with work for her to take off to do that. It's no secret. Normally, we win some trips, so you know, she wants to save vacation time for that. But you know, she does a lot behind the scenes that I think, you know, people don't realize. She's actually started doing some more things on the back end of side. On Twitter, if it states respond or answer a question, where do you enter? Reply or quote tweet? That's a great question. When I teach the Twitter class, I tell people, you know, in something like that, the way you're saying it, my guess is it's probably just a simple reply. But there are times you don't know. And if you just don't know, I would probably quote tweet it, and I would probably reply to it. You know, maybe I'm just retweeting it as well. You know, there's 3 different ways that you can kind of enter on Twitter. You know, and there's times that you may do that. Somebody said they'll bring snacks for the lounge. That's awesome. So, you know, the biggest day for the lounge is going to be on Thursday. Thursday's the day where you pick up your registration packets. Nothing starts officially till the evening. That's the kickoff party. So I'll be in the iWIN lounge all day. That's when we'll do a lot of the fun stuff. We'll have a little bit of time on Friday morning and Saturday morning. but that's it. So the main time is that Thursday. So, and I know a lot of you guys like to renew your memberships when you're there. Not a problem. I'll be able to process credit cards there. I'll be able to do Venmo. If you're just bringing me a check, that's fine too. Just make sure you've noted your email so I get you updated correctly. How is the Callaway Epic driver that a lot of us won last year treating you? I love mine. You know what? I am not a good golfer, and I live on a golf course, and I've started playing more. In fact, after I put out iWIN, I put out iWIN a little bit early today, and I went and played 9 holes. I get my money's worth because I definitely take my strokes, but I do use my Epic driver. I love it. I was really hoping we would all get another one last weekend, but that didn't happen. But it's a great item. I would like to win a new set of clubs. I'm in the process of thinking about buying some new clubs. Golf's expensive, so yeah, send in some golf sweeps. I've tried winning some golf sweeps, and that's one of the few. Are we having breakout rooms for a convention? That's something you'll have to check the schedule. Again, I don't know for sure. I'm not involved in that piece. Todd posted the iWIN tracker. So anyone's welcome to download that. You're welcome to use it. It's what I use to track my wins. It's nothing overly complicated, but it helps you keep track of all the prizes you've won. Totals them up. It's great to use with an accountant for tax purposes. So by all means, use it. Some of you guys might hear Toby's now started to whistle a little bit again. So I've made where I'm recording a little more soundproof to try and avoid what happened the other night. Are you talking about Twitter parties? Yeah, no, that wasn't what the person was talking about. Some people focus a lot on Twitter parties. To me, they just take up a lot of time. A lot of times you only have to really respond once, but so many of them are hand-picked that they want someone participating. I just usually don't have an hour to waste, so I don't focus on them. I'll post them in Discord if I see something that's pretty good. See if I have any questions up here. I don't want to miss anything on Instagram. I appreciate you guys watching me. Instagram's kind of new for us to broadcast on. And then we're hoping to move all these over to YouTube, so they'll all be in one place. Excuse me, I'm looking through the questions to try and get to a new one. I don't like sweeps where you have to follow a lot of people. I don't enter those. If you're going to make me jump through a lot of hoops, I just don't. So, can you create a channel for Twitter parties? I would if I felt that there were that many out there and there was that much interest. Here's my only hesitation to doing it. The average iWIN member should probably not be wasting their time with Twitter parties. If it's good, like, Expedia does a decent one, I'll put it in there and I'll just put it in the non-chat channel. Or some of it will go in the Twitter channel. But there's not enough of them or enough interest at this point. Now, if that changes down the road, then we will. Do judging agencies know if you use an autofiller? Do you use one if the rules say not to? I say that if you input any info into a particular field, it changes colors. So, this is what's been talked about a lot. So judging agencies and sponsors and even site owners can track lots of various things, including seeing if you have hand typed in the fields. It just depends if they're checking. That's probably the biggest thing is, are they checking? Now, they may have it in the rules, and I've talked about an iWIN, and I don't really want to go over that publicly because we've talked about and we've shared it with iWIN members specifically. But if you're worried about it, my suggestion is hand type it. I will tell you that it is extremely rare that I hand type anything. So you can take that for what it is. But yes, I can tell you 1,000% they can tell. It's do they care or not. That's what really matters. What is my biggest win on Twitter or TikTok? Well, TikTok, I can tell you my biggest win was $1,000. I haven't won a whole lot on TikTok because I haven't entered a whole lot. I've probably won maybe half a dozen prizes on TikTok, but I bet I haven't entered maybe 10 contests on TikTok. I haven't done a lot of the videos. Even when it's been given me as an option to enter, I've entered other ways. But I did win $1,000 on TikTok. Was it early last year? It was early last year. I won $1,000. Twitter, biggest win on Twitter. I don't know. I've definitely won trips. I don't know what technically my biggest one would be. I will tell you there was a Twitter contest. This is years ago. In fact, I don't even know if iWIN existed or it just started. But there was a Twitter contest to go see Arsenal play in New York. And it's one of my favorite stories. And you had to take a picture with the Arsenal jersey, and the new Arsenal jerseys were made by Puma, and that's who was promoting it. They were impossible to find in the U.S. because they were delayed. So by the time I finally got one, there was only like 2 days left in the contest, and at the time there was not a single entry because nobody in the U.S. could really get these. But I ended up, you can enter every day, and I ended up doing 2 entries, and Lee did 2 entries. And then one guy decided to do an entry that he didn't even have the shirt. So there were 5 entries total. 2 me, 2 Lee, and 1 random guy who didn't do it correctly. And there were 2 grand prize winners, trips to New York to see Arsenal play at Red Bull Stadium. And so I really wasn't sure what was going to happen. Would one of us win? Would both of us win? How that would happen? But we both of us within seconds of each other got notified a couple days after it ended that we were winners. And we told them, obviously they knew we were a couple, but it was 1 winner per person. So they said, great, you guys both won. If you want to bring another couple with you or what you want to do. And so that's what we did is we brought another couple with us, and we went to New York City, had a great time, got to see Arsenal play. In fact, the pictures are up on the iWIN website. But the other cool thing about this was we stayed at Hilton. Some of you guys might remember this contest. Hilton was giving away prizes every 15 minutes, but you had to have a reservation and be staying at a Hilton. And they gave away gift cards, like $50 or $100 Hilton gift cards. They gave away tablets. And then there were some grand prizes, which were, I don't know if they were trips or what they were, but every 15 minutes they gave away this stuff. Well, you could enter every 15 minutes and you could win, I think you could win 1 of every prize. Well, because we were staying there all weekend, all 4 of us entered. And by the time we left, 4 of us had won the gift card and 3 of us had won the tablets. So talking about a win and really turning it into more. So that's one of my bigger Twitter wins. But I've had a lot of trip wins have come from Twitter. Am I going to the baseball game? Yes, I will be at the baseball game. I don't even know, but I kind of have a surprise with the baseball game, I guess you could say. I'm not sure it's public yet, so I can't really overly share it. I might be allowed to share it, but if Karen or Tanya is on here, they can share it if I'm allowed to share it. But yes, I will be there at the baseball game. Have I ever had to decline a prize? I have. I've declined a couple. I declined one from tax purposes. I won an Xbox from Skittles that was one of those limited edition Xboxes that was going to be wrapped, and it was like a couple $1,000s or something ARV, and it was basically just an Xbox, a $300 Xbox at that time that was going to be wrapped in Skittles wrap, and it just wasn't. It just didn't make sense. The interesting thing was there were like 10 winners of that, and then there were like 200 of just the Xbox with the normal ARV, and I was hoping they would give me that, but they said no. If you don't want this, you lose it all. So I did have to decline that. So it happens every now and then. I really try. I try not to, like, once I've won a trip or I have something scheduled, I try not to enter for anything for those same dates, so that I just don't get put in that situation. What are your thoughts on using things like autofill on Chrome for entering giveaways? Do you think they disqualify you? No. As I've talked before, I use RoboForm. I use RoboForm every single day. I've used it for almost since I started. Like, that was one of the biggest things I found. So if you use Chrome autofill, you know what? Again, there are places that can look at that if they want to, but I don't personally worry about it. I think you're going to do yourself more harm worrying about it than just entering. So, hope you can go to the Arizona. Yep, Arizona's going to be fun. They did a great job last year. I'm really excited about that. This is always a question that comes up. So they're moving, and they want to know if the post office will forward the prizes. So, you go to the post office, you fill out forwarding things. You get UPS, you get FedEx notices, so you can usually get those forwarded. I went through this a few years back when I moved from Ohio to Florida. Once I had my new address, I started entering under the new address. This was before I moved. I was still in my house in Ohio before moving, but I had my new address. So if I knew that, hey, this sweep's not going to end, I'm not going to get these prizes till I'm down there, I started using that address. I did all the forwards, and I left the people a nice note. I left them some stamps. I left them some envelopes. And I said, hey, this is who I am. I enter sweepstakes. If you get anything that's like paperwork or gift cards or something easy that you want to forward me, great. If you don't, so be it. But I really hope you would consider it. Here's my contact info. I will tell you, I've never heard from them. I do know that they got one huge Armor All. Armor All used to give these really nice packages away. But they got that. And so be it. That's just the way it is. Yeah, if you think you're winning a lot less because of autofill, I can tell you that's a myth, honestly. I know plenty of people who win $100,000 plus in prizes every single year. They all use autofill. So not one of them will take that time and type those things out. So could you not win something because somebody looks? Absolutely. But, that goes for anything. I mean, you could have a profile that makes you look like a sweepstakes person. You could have a profile that just posts dumb stuff. And they look at it and go, you know what, this isn't someone we want to represent our brand. The problem with social media is it's public. So, any of these things can be handpicked. And most of the time you're not going to know. So what I tell all my iWIN members are, you just can't worry about it. You can do so much to control it. And, we talk about having profiles that look normal, but, here I am. I'm doing lives. You don't have to go that far to figure out that I enter sweepstakes. And you guys see the videos, you see the trips, you know I still win. And I'm telling you what I do. I teach a class on organization where I show you exactly how I enter. I show you my Excel sheet. I show you how I use RoboForm, how I use macros to open up multiple links in Excel, all that. So, and it's not a sales pitch for that class, but it's on demand now. You can go order it tonight and watch it. It's like 45 minutes and see exactly how I enter. People ask me to do that class, and so I finally decided to do one of those. It's not, I don't do anything overly complicated. Let's see. What else we got here? The iWIN Cup. You guys like the iWIN Cup? So this is the club iWIN Cup. That's Roscoe. And then on the other side, so this was a Christmas gift. So I actually have a couple of these, and I love these. And I do have one that I'm halfway debating giving away in the iWIN Lounge. Maybe. I haven't fully decided on that yet. Welcome from Vancouver. We do have a couple Canadian members. We're not, iWIN's not focused on Canadian sweepstakes. We do post some things. Let's see. So Andy asked a good question, and they asked, I don't understand why it matters that you use autofill. That's your name, address. It's easier and faster than entering manually. The reason being is there's bots. There's bots out there that can enter thousands of entries in an hour. And that's really what they're watching for. It's why I tell you I don't focus on referrals, because there's people with very sophisticated bot programs that can just run circles around the average person. Google T-Mobile. Everyone knows T-Mobile does these T-Mobile Tuesdays. And how many times have you seen where they give 100,000 Amazon gift cards away, and you don't know one person that's won one, or maybe one, or maybe two? I mean, iWIN has some of the best sweepers in the United States, and I fully believe that. And it's no secret. You see us dominating the win list every single time they come out. Any major sweepstake, and you get a win list on it, you're like, yep, I win. But you don't see that with T-Mobile. You don't have to go far to Google it and realize all the trouble T-Mobile has had with bots, and they've turned their shoulder on it. They've claimed that they're looking into it, but personally, I don't think they've changed one bit. So it's why I don't even put the T-Mobile Tuesday stuff on the site. Unless it's like a freebie gimme or something, it's you can enter it, but the realistic chance of you winning are very, very slim. In fact, some of you guys are aware that there's forums out there with people who build bots to enter sweepstakes, and almost always when T-Mobile does that, there's people in there bragging about the percentage that their bot was able to claim. So, unfortunately, there's some bad people in sweepstakes. So that is what it is. It's not going to change. But again, you start learning what to enter and what not to enter. But back to your original question on autofill, that's why that's important. And that's why places tend to look at that, is because they're looking for the bots. They're looking for anything that's not normal. So. Let's see what we got. Is the heat or humidity worse in Florida than Ohio in the summer? If so, how do you get used to it? I stay inside. Air conditioned office. It's great. Yeah, it's hot. I'm not gonna, it does get hot. But again, I went and played 9 holes of golf at 2 o'clock in the afternoon today. It was probably 90 some degrees. But that's why I played 9. I didn't feel like playing 18. It was a little hot. But I like the weather better than Ohio personally. I can do away with the gray and the snow and the rain, and I'd rather have the Florida weather. Let's see. What's the maximum time you use a day entering? Well, it's kind of a loaded question because iWIN is what I do now. So I'm now focused on doing things for iWIN. If I find something really good for iWIN and I put it on, I'm still going to enter it. But when I sit down to actually enter, just my personal stuff that I enter, I try and keep that to an hour or less. I think that's a reasonable amount of time for anyone. That's why I recommend, that's why I suggest. And then if you have extra time to do extra things, sure. And there's times I have extra time to do things. And that's where I'll enter some of these things that I talk about that aren't really my first priority. Is that video on iWIN or YouTube? Courtney, what video are you talking about? Tell me on that and I'll give you a better answer. Oh, the organization. So, no. So that video is part of Sweeper University. Sweeper University is where I teach classes on different elements. They are paid classes, but I used to just do live classes. I've done them for, 4 or 5 years now. And the problem was some people were unable to watch them when they're live. Now, it's great when you can do it live because then you can ask real questions in real time. But people said, what, I work second shift, so I can never do it. Or I work, just any of the times. It just never worked. So I created classes now that are on demand. And basically, you go in, you pay for it. I send you a personalized link within 24 hours. You then have 7 days to watch it. So there's Twitter, Instagram, 30 things every sweeper should know, which is a really good beginner video. The organizational video. Organizational walks you through how I do my daily entering. I'm trying to think if we have... I think those are the only ones we have available on demand right now. Eventually we'll have the odds and the skill class up. So I don't want to forget. So let's give away a couple 3-month memberships to iWIN. Now you can do this if you are a new member, if you're brand new, or if you are just a current member. But if you're a current member, you're going to need to be logged in to add this. So that everyone knows, here's how you do it. You go to the iWIN page and you have to click on the subscribe button. You'll choose 1 year and then there'll be a spot for a discount code. The answer to my question is going to go in that discount code. The first 2 people who not only put it in there and hit apply, but you have to complete the transaction. So if you're a member, you have to be logged in to do this. If you're not a member, you'll create an account. And it's very easy to do. Come here, Rask. So we're all on the same page how this works. It's only going to accept the first 2 people who fully get this done. It's all automated. So if you're not one of the first 2 people, you don't get in. You will enter the answer all in capitals, okay? All capital letters. If you think the answer is 2 words or more, put them together. Don't use spaces. If you think it's 1 word, then just put the 1 word. Okay? But the question is, you guys all know that I'm going on the Disney Wish in a couple weeks. I'm a big Disney fan. I enjoy going to Disney. I don't know who knows this, so I want to know who my favorite Disney character is. So if you know that answer, you'll go and you'll enter it. And the first 2 people to do this are going to get 3 months of iWIN. It'll tell you you're correct if you hit apply. So I'm pulling this up now because I'll see the first 2 people come across. Now if no one gets it here, then I'll give you another little clue. Someone said, hey, if I run a sweepstakes on my page or blog, are we allowed to suggest you on the iWIN contest site for you to add to your list of sweepstakes? Anyone's allowed to send me sweepstakes, whether you're a big company, small company, whatever. I evaluate them all the same. Just be aware that I evaluate thousands every week to decide what to put on iWIN. Now that we have Discord, I'll throw some things on like the Discord miscellaneous channel. If I throw it on the Discord miscellaneous channel and I don't put it on iWIN, it means that I don't personally think it's worth entering. But it's still a legit sweepstakes. Things check out, and if you want to enter, you can enter. And I usually put in there why. Like a lot of the things I skip just because they're like generic general sites. Let's see, I think somebody might have got. Well, 1 person was correct so far. So congratulations to Wendy. I assume she's watching and she'll post. If so, post so that people know it's real. But don't tell the answer, please. Let someone else try and get it. Yeah, some sweepstakes can eliminate bots, but others, don't. And a lot of small companies don't know how to do it. Am I going to hide ducks or unicorns again? I still haven't fully decided. The T-Mobile sweep on Wheel of Fortune's fine. It's ran totally different, so I do recommend doing that one. It's got long odds. I mean, a lot of people do that. How can we tell when our membership ends? So if you go and you're in your profile in the top right, you can click on My Account and it'll tell you when it ends. Worst case, if you can't find it, send me an email and I'll just email you and tell you. But you get a notice by email, and also the top banner changes colors when you're within like 30 days. Excuse me. I don't have a second one yet, so just saying. Someone else asking about more on the on-demand classes. If somebody puts the link up there, it's basically it's Sweeper University. You can go to sweeperuniversity.com. There's also a link on iWIN. Here, I'll try and post this in here. So I posted that link. Obviously, if you order something while I'm live later on tonight, I will send you the link. Yeah, the video, the way I enter, that's on demand. To a number of people about the class, I appreciate that. The classes were never designed as like a financial motivator or moneymaker for me. The whole reason the classes came about was I realized that certain people never use certain aspects of iWIN. Like, I would talk to people and they go, well, I don't enter Twitter, or I don't enter Instagram, or I never thought about entering that way. So if I teach classes and I teach them for a very reasonable price, and I show people how to do those things, they will hopefully then use iWIN more. Therefore, win more and stay a member. And that's really what my focus is. We did a great class on the Super Bowl, specifically sweepstakes that were going to be on Super Bowl Sunday, focused on Twitter. And we had numerous people in that class win some nice prizes. And they were all thrilled because they felt they understood the sweeps, how to do them, and had a good game plan going into Super Bowl Sunday to win those. As most of you guys know, Super Bowl Sunday is crazy for sweepstakes. I didn't get many done because I was on the field for halftime. So did I win? I did win some. I won a Super Bowl prediction contest. Every year I seem to win one thing for Super Bowl, but I've never won anything big on Super Bowl Sunday. But we had a person win $50,000 prize again Super Bowl Sunday. So let alone, I don't know how many people won a $500 or more prize. I bet you at least 150 or so. It wouldn't let me in my profile. Linda, send me a message and I'll look at. But if you're logged in and you go to my account, it should show. We're still waiting on one more winner for Disney, who's my favorite character. I'll tell you, it's one word. I'll give you that hint. It's one word. So, example, it wouldn't be Mickey Mouse, wouldn't be Donald Duck. So it's not Goofy, but it's something like that where it's just one word. So you enter that as a discount code. Choose 1 year. Go to the iWIN site. If you're a member, you'll need to be logged in. Act like you're renewing then. Pick 1 year. There'll be a spot for discount code. You'll enter the answer in. You'll hit apply. All the credit card info disappears. Come on, we're going to be off the air in a couple minutes. So somebody needs to get it. I didn't think it would be as hard. It's not a mainstream character. I don't think the character has never been in a movie, as far as I know. I don't believe it's ever been in a movie. So strange, my 1 year is grayed out. That's interesting too. Sarah Win 16, send me a message so I can take a look at your account on that. That's a little bit different. All right. Any more questions before we call it a night? Your daughter scanned the QR code and won the Universal Studio trip to Orlando in California worth over $20,000. She's breaking it up and taking it this year and next year. That is fantastic. Congratulations. Well, KB just said boom, but it hasn't come across yet. KB, did you finish it? Did it come through? Did you get it? Where is the best place to get your state stuff at the convention? It was. So KB got it. KB was the second one. Congratulations to her. So the answer for those who have been trying, it was Figment. So remember, maybe it'll be a trivia question some other time. But Figment. But yeah, the code was good for 3 months, but you had to click on the one year and get the discount. So congratulations to KB and Wendy, both current members who got the extra 3. And then Winetta Miller, congrats to your daughter. That's a huge Super Bowl win. Yeah, I mean, how many of us were, we would get the link and we'd share it in Discord and try and enter. That was one I tried to enter because it was kind of before I left for the game, and then I kept getting the links, so I kept trying to enter that as well. But other than that, I'll see some of you guys in New Hampshire. We're going to have lots of fun things planned. Let's see. One more question in. Do you think we'll see an increase in TikTok video sweeps? I keep talking about it, and I kind of do, but, I also thought that we would see more Snap years ago, and we never really did. So that was my opinion, and I was wrong. So now I do. I think social media content's huge. Obviously, TikTok is just, it's really giving Facebook a run for its money. It's a lot more popular it was a lot more younger, and now it's become a lot more popular with older people as well, just because I think a lot of us were bored over the last couple of years and just watching videos and content. So I do think we'll see more. I've started to do more for iWIN, which is making me more comfortable with it, and then therefore I'll do more entries. I'm not teaching a TikTok class as of yet. I don't teach a class just to teach a class. If I feel it's going to be very beneficial and I feel that I can make a difference in how you enter and how you use it and that you can understand it, I'll teach it. I feel that way on Twitter, on Instagram, social media, the other classes I teach. But I'm still learning TikTok myself. So my advice is play with it. There's a lot to it, and it's constantly changing. And have fun with it. I mean, it's a lot of ways to be very, very creative on TikTok. So hopefully you guys are following iWIN on TikTok. We've been trying to do more videos, more content, and just kind of have fun with it and learn. So other than that, you guys have a great night. I'll see you in the iWIN Lounge in less than 2 weeks. And thanks again for being part of iWIN. Thanks for being members. Appreciate it. Have a great night.